Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on Saturday. It is the 6th of June 2020. I'm going to look at all the stakes races on the program from Belmont, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing. Get 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and also check out my 2,000 Guineas preview video from Newmarket. Also join me tomorrow for my 1,000 Guineas preview video from Newmarket. But it's the first real big weekend of racing here in New York since probably all year, if I think about it, since Cigar Mile Day. So it's a good card from Belmont. We're going to be looking at all the stakes races 6 through 9. Let's get to it right now. The sixth race, it's the Fort Marcy Grade 2 purse, $150,000 race is for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses entering the inner turf course, a distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or a mile and 1/8 on the inner turf course, rails at 9 feet. 1,800 meters, mile and 1/8, and I show the diagram. Just gives me a second to look down my notes. Just bear with me. Top selection, I'm going to go with the number 8 horse here, who is Social Paranoia. I'll go 8-4-5-6 in the superfecta, 8-4-5-6 super. Top selection 8 horse Social Paranoia. This 4-year colt by Street Boss. Top lecture trains. Manny Franco gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 9th of May at Goldstream, mile 16th in Sunshine Forever Stakes, and he finished third by 2.5 lengths. The winner Halliday ran a terrific race on the front end and absolutely loves Goldstream. This horse just sat back early, a little bit of turn of foot. It wasn't the world's worst race for him, but he still could have improved a lot more. 2 back in the Appleton Handicap at Goldstream, Grade 3, 1 mile, March 28th. He won by 1 1/4 lengths. He was last most of the race, had a great turn of foot, and he got there. From where he was, earning 100 buyer, that was probably the best race of his life. And then before that, at Kentucky Downs, mile 5/16 in the Kentucky Downs Dueling Grounds Derby, that day he won by half length, and he sat closer. And that course at Kentucky Downs this past meeting was speed favoring. He sat close, he quickened up, and he got the job done. He's run here at Belmont 3 times in the past, most recently a mile and a quarter on this inner turf course in the Belmont Derby nearly a year ago, where he finished second by 3/4 length, and he actually had the lead, but Henley's Joy got this horse late, but he still ran a terrific race. And then before that, he finished third at this distance in the Pennine Ridge. Coming off this race, third start off the break, been training very well in South Florida. 9-2, sitting closer on this turf course, not half bad. Let's take him. Multi-race scenario, the pick 6 begins with this race. I think you also have to use the 4-horse flop shot, first start in America. He looks live also. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Belmont, it is the Grade 2 Fort Marcy. Let's take as a top selection the 8 horse Social Paranoia. We'll go 8-4-5-6 in the superfecta, 8-4 in the multi-race. The 7th race now from Belmont, it is the Westchester Grade 3 purse, $100,000 race for 4-year-olds and upwards, going in the Suburban Handicap Prep. A field of 11 horses going to the main track now. The distance of ground is 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of mile and 1/16 on the Belmont main track. 1,700 meters, mile 16th here in the Westchester. Usually the Westchester is the local prep race for the mile, which would have been today, but everything's kind of fucked up now. But the top selection here, and a single in the multi-race, I think it's the 9 horse Code of Honor. I think he's much the best. I'm going to go 9-1-11-3 in the superfecta, 9-1-11-3 super, but the top selection is 9 horse Code of Honor, 4-year colt by Noble Mission. Shug McGahee trains. Johnny Velazquez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing was a very subpar race at San Antonio, a mile and a quarter in the Brews Cup Classic. He finished 7th by 15 1/4 lengths. It was very wide that day and just had nothing. Never really showed up. It wasn't his day to win. But before that, here in the Jack Cub Globe Cup at Belmont, a mile and a quarter is 10th to 28th. He finished second by a nose, but because Vino Rosso was drifting in the stretch, and it was a short margin of victory, they placed his horse up first, which I thought was the right call. But he ran a terrific race, closing up off of that very good pace. But keep in mind, Vino Rosso did win next start out in the Breeze Cup Classic, so he turned the tables there. And then before them, Travers at Saratoga, mile and a quarter, August 24th. He ran the race of his life. He won by 3, sat back early, very, very wide. But when he quickened up, my God, he quickened up. Very good race. And then before that, in the Dwyer here at Belmont over the mile trip, he won by 3 1/4 lengths again, beating a good group of horses home. John Velazquez lost the whip that day, but that's something you usually see on an apprentice, not on a veteran. But he still took off clear. Very good run. His worst race, I thought, it was the Mucho Mach Man. Now, if you take that race out, and the Breeze Cup Classic course, he hasn't run half bad. He's been training very well. They've been targeting this race 6-5, but let's take him. Like I said, logical single. So to recount my selection for the 7th from Belmont, it's the Grade 3 Westchester. Let's take the 9 horse Code of Honor. We'll go 9-1-11-3 in the superfecta, single the 9 in the multi-race. Let's get to race 8. Race number 8 from Belmont. It is the Intercontinental Stakes, Grade 3, purse $100,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 12 horses entered. Keep in mind the 4-horse is main track only, so 11 will go to the Widener turf course. The distance of ground of 1,400 meters, with the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on that Widener turf course. 7 furlongs here. The top selection, we're going to go with the number 7 horse here, who is Regal Glory. We'll go 7-12-5-9 in the superfecta, 7-12-5-9 super. Top selection, 7 horse Regal Glory, 4-year-old filly by Animal Kingdom. Chad Brown trains, Jose Ortiz gets the mount. And the horse's most recent outing came 12th of October at Keeneland, mile 8th in the Grade 1 QE2 Cup. And the horse finished 6th by 4 lengths, was drawn wide that they didn't break that well. Was with them early on, but just couldn't keep the distance late. Wasn't the day to win. Coming here, 7 furlongs Belmont, which is really in the horse's wheelhouse. I expect this horse to really run a good race. 2 back in the Grade 2 Lake Classic, Saratoga Mile 16th on the inner turf course. The horse won by a neck, and again stalked that day a little bit wide, but when she quickened up, she got the job done. She actually dead heated with Varanko, who actually ran 2 weeks ago to Churchill, or last week in Churchill, ran crap. But this horse ran good there. And then before then, Lake George at Saratoga, a mile on the inner turf course, had 2 other rivals, one by a half length, a little bit wide, but she got the job coming from last in that small group. And then before then, the Pen Oak, probably her best race lifetime. She won by 2 3/4 lengths. Again, mid-pack, and she quickened up, probably not to her full extent, but she still got the job done. A very easy race. You know, she's versatile. She can set the pace like she's been doing last time out, or she come from behind. She actually was coming behind at Keeneland and at Goldstream, the Appalachian and Sweet Chanter Stakes, where she ran 2 very good places. Coming here to this turf course with a lot of pace in this one, I think coming from behind shouldn't be half bad. 5-1, let's choose her. Your second likeliest winner will be the 12 horse Significant Form, the veteran, but her most recent race in Matriarch was a disaster. But coming here, back to Belmont, where she's run very well. Don't throw her out. Newspaper of record is your Wise Guy horse. She hasn't really shown her 2-year-old form in her 3-year-old year, but she's come to her 4-year-old year now. I'll give a shot. You know, she's the Wise Guy horse. Like I said, she's either going to run a mass race or she's going to finish way out of it. But to recap my selection now for the 8th from Belmont, it's Grade 3 Intercontinental. Let's take the 7 horse Regal Glory. We'll go 7-12-5-9 in the superfecta, 7-12-5 in the multi-race. Let's get to that feature night. Race number 9 from Belmont's feature race of the afternoon. It is the Carter Handicap, Grade 1, purse $250,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 11 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,400 meters, with the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the about to say Aqueduct main track, but it's the Belmont main track. 1,400, 7 furlongs here in the Carter. The Carter would have been run 2 months ago on Wood Memorial Day, which would have served as a good preparation for the Metropolitan Handicap, which had been run today. But with that being said, it's like I said earlier, the world's all screwed up. So this is still a good Met Mile prep, just a little bit closer now and at Belmont. But the Carter has been run at Belmont. It's just been a while. The top selection, I like the 11 horse Vekoma. I'll go 11-10-2-5 in the superfecta, 11-10-2-5 super, 11-10-2-5 super. Top selection, 11 horse Vekoma, 4-year-old colt by Candy Ride. George Weaver trains. Javier Castellano gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 28th of March at Goldstream, 7 furlongs in the Sir Shackleton. First time off the break, first time sprinting against stakes quality horses. He won by 3 3/4 lengths, and he put on a show that day. He sat back early, great turn of foot, and he went away with it. 102 buyer, great run. Before that, 2 back in the Kentucky Derby at Churchill, mile and a quarter on the slop. He finished 13th, placed 12th through disqualification, and he just wasn't having anything that day. It was very wide, and he just couldn't get into it. It wasn't his day to win. But before then, the Bluegrass, going a mile and 8th at Keeneland, he won by 3.5 lengths, and he got the lead. He won, but he was he didn't look like he was so clear that day. He looked like he had not really concentrated on the run, and also the lead changes were weird. And then before then, the Fountain of Youth, he finished 3rd by 2 3/4 lengths. He just couldn't keep going. But I like him at a 1 turn 7 furlong. His best races have come there. Going over his forms, has been training well. Let's use him. Second likeliest winner is this 10 horse Mind Control. Most recently, won the Tom Fool Handicap, won the Toboggan, won the Alan Jurgens. Both 3 races very easily. Gets Johnny V back up as regular rider. Another horse at 4-1, training well. Don't throw him out. And also give kudos to the number 2 horse here, Performer. He hasn't been seen since the Discovery Stakes, but he's run 4. His last 4 have been very good races, and they've been getting better and better. Back to a 1 turn 7 furlongs. Watch out for him at 3-1. Off of some quick workouts. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets a good trip here also. But to recap my selection for the ninth from Belmont, it's the Grade 1 $250,000 Carter Handicap. Let's take the 11 horse Vekoma. We'll go 11-10-2-5 in the superfecta, 11-10-2 in this multi-race. So good luck to him. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.